Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly, without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memory, so strong that you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you've had half-remembered nightmares of monsters, your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Hello everyone, and welcome to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. I keep wanting to say exocologist. This is actually a very special series on the channel in that we have been given a Day 1 Steam key by the development team. I'm very excited to check this out. It's made by Sarah Northway Games, or I think it's just called Northway Games. Big fan of the Rebuild series, actually, which started out on Newgrounds and eventually kind of became its own thing, which is just really cool. Rebuild 3, I go back to and play a couple of big games every couple of months or so. Anyways, I'm really excited to get into this. You'll notice that this is actually a second upload on the channel today. That's because I actually wanted to get an episode out on the first day of release. So if you were watching this on August 25th, Thursday of 2022, this game just dropped today. Definitely go check it out. It's $25 on Steam in USD, about 28 or something in Canadian. Fun fact, Sarah Northway herself is actually Canadian. She's from BC. So if you're interested in checking this out after watching my episode, link in description down below. Go check it out. Yeah. I've already messed with the settings. I've taken a look at some of the content warnings, not to spoil myself. I mean, they have it right in the menu there. But just to kind of be aware of a few things as we go on. Do expect some dark content. I mean, we're settling an alien planet. Who knows how that'll go? I'm really excited though. This will actually be the first game on the channel that I have not played before. And the music, this title music, is just really pretty, so I'm really looking forward to that. Anyways, I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get into it. You can expect second videos on the channel. Well, just more info down in the description. Be sure to read that for updates. Wake up. Okay. Warning, this game deals with mature subjects and may not be suitable for all players. Please see our content warnings in the system menu for a detailed list of themes and events. Indeed. I mean, I don't really want to read them all out. Just know that there is some hard stuff in here. Nothing too extreme. I mean, the developers clearly had, you know, people in mind there. Expect a lot of death. Expect a lot of trauma. Expect some unpleasant moral situations and themes. Nothing graphic sexual, though, so if that's a concern, you don't have to worry about that. There is romance in the game, but everything is fade to black, consensual, above age. You know what I mean? But anyways, if you're a fan of my content for a while, you know we don't stray away from the mature subjects, so we should all be okay. Let's get into it. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire. This is really well animated. I'm pretty sure this is normally like a side-scrolling thing. Your head is pounding, you must have hit it and blacked out, but you aren't sure how you got here, or what on Vertumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Oh, and I don't think this game is voice acting, so look forward to my very professional voice acting skills. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Hi, pretty lady, what's up? You look distressed. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is ringing in your ears. Our first choice, climb out or what's going on? What's going on? Can we get info? No. You try to speak, but the words come out jumbled. Your throat seizes around a lungful of choking smoke, and you feel dizzy and confused. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Ooh, that's pretty. Through it, you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Oh, hi. Is that good, or is it about to, like, unhinge its jaws and have, like, 18 rows of teeth? Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like, from Earth? Oh shit, I knew it! The creature howls and lunges, its jaws open. Yeah, no, that did not look safe. I'm absolutely just going to call this game Exocolonist from now on. Or Exo. Probably Exocolonist. Wow. I definitely really like the art here. It's like kind of stylized, but still like really quality. You were born on the Stratospheric, Earth's first colony ship. Halfway through its 20-year voyage to a wormhole at the edge of the Sol system. Your parents run the hydroponic gardens, which makes fresh air and vegetables for the ship. Like the other colonists, they bravely chose to make this one-way journey to the uncharted planet Vertumna 4 in the hope that they could escape Earth's troubles. They had you the old-fashioned way, merging their genes like they merged their cultures and traditions. They name you... Oh yeah, so you can choose to be male, female, or non-binary. Oftentimes in games like these, it's kind of fun to take the female option, but there's a dating-esque aspect, so I'm probably going to go male. At least for the first playthrough. This game really encourages replay. Apparently there's about 600,000 words in the game, but you only see about 1/8 of those through like one storyline based on all the choices and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I could see some more content on this game in the future on the channel. That was a word salad. After our first one, but for now... Solana Kai? Yeah, no, sorry, no Sols. No Sols. We're gonna go with, Garrett. One of the names I use a lot, named after the main character from the Thief series. One of my favorite characters in games. You're a bright-eyed child with an active imagination. Sometimes too active, your mom says. Use the sliders on the left to choose pronouns and late teen appearances. These can be changed at any time. So there's she, her, they, them, and he, him, and when you're in they, them, you can actually customize. That's actually really cool. I don't think I need to do anything beyond the males. Wow, they really let you go in depth on this. About different facial expressions, actions and stuff. You can even customize your colony from the looks of it. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to mess with that too much. I kind of just mostly like to let it do what it's going to do. And again, I'm going to go with he, him. And you can really customize your appearance too. But do know that if that is important to you in a game, they really went all out to make sure you feel included. That's really cool. I like the design too. The hair. Okay. Good to go. You have vivid dreams of things you've never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles and strange animals. You wonder if this is what Vertumna will be like. Every child on the... Oh, I see. Okay. Every child on the Stratospheric is given one genetic enhancement. Okay. By age 6, you see the first sign of yours. Eagle eyes, extra fingers, absorbent brain, super strength, calm temperament, nothing at all. So we've got an empathy skill, or stat. Where is it? Come on. Understanding other people. Persuasion, charisma to command people and speak in public. Creativity, artistic ability, and capacity for novel ideas. Bravery for both social and dangerous situations. That's your, like, talk stats. Then we've got reasoning, problem-solving, general knowledge. Organizing, dedication to neatness and management. Engineering, study of machines, physics, math, and programming. Biology, study of plants, biochemistry, and the human body. Toughness, physical strength and stamina. Perception, ability to find things and to sneak past things. Combat, tactics, and weapons. And animals, familiarity with xenofauna, hunting, and ranching. So you really can build just a number of different characters here. Kind of looking forward to that. What's this? Oh, system, friends, memories, character traits, kudos, reputation-based currency. That's hilarious. Love that it's a thumbs up. It's just the bar. Stress, physical and mental exhaustion, rebellion, relationship with adults and colony government. Right smack dab in the middle. Okay. I tend to like to play charisma paths. I find they're often just more interesting in getting out of things without conflict. I imagine this game's gonna punish me for that a little bit. A lot of hard decision making and stuff. Does it tell me what each one of these does, or do I have to, like, can I click on one? Perception, I always like a good rogue. So perception, charisma, empathy, and persuasion, bravery. We're probably gonna focus on, after that, maybe animals or combat. Engineering is always fun too, but God, all of these just seem important. For now, Eagle Eyes is probably helping your perception, absorbent brain, probably your reasoning. Can I go back? I don't think I can go back, so I have to go with it. +1 skill reward at end of mental challenges only if you win. Okay. Professor Hal says kids learn fast because their brains are like sponges, but when people get older, they can't absorb as much new stuff. Not for you. You're always learning, and your curiosity knows no end. Okay. If I were to re-choose, the only other one I might have taken would have been Eagle Eyes, I think. The other kids have trouble keeping up with you, but one tries. Oh, I see. Pick who your, like, childhood best friend is. I don't think all 6 are here. This is a anemone, energetic girl who loves sports. I think I've seen her, like, adult-ish form. She's cute. Actually, that was probably the friend who picks us up in that one vision. Redhead. Birthday unknown. Everything is unknown. Okay. Energetic girl who loves sports. Oh, fuck you, man. Recalcitrance? Don't come across that word very often. Physically strong boy who isn't afraid to get in touch with his emotions. He, him. She, her. She has no thing in brackets. Mars, Marzipan. Oh, that's like their full name, and he goes by Cal. Get it. Got it. Okay. On board. Mars, Marzipan. Fierce and fiery girl with big dreams of success. She, her. Dies. Withdrawn boy, a loner and awkward around people. He, him. Okay. So there's those 4, and then there's also Studious and Mature Tangent, and Shy and Sweet Sammy, or Tammy. Be down with any of them, to be honest with you. Let's go with Anemone. Anemone is the most enthusiastic person you know. Your favorite memory is the time she taught you how to play zero-G sports ball after class. She never means to get you into trouble, but somehow you always seem to find it together. 10 friendship with Anemone, 10 toughness, 10 combat. Gain memory, Anemone's loyalty. Oh yeah, and this has a card-based kind of battling system, which is, I'm looking forward to seeing how they incorporate all the choices. All physical red cards with values lower than 2 are increased to 2. That's pretty cool. Oh, wait, I can actually go look at them? Yo, okay, we're gonna look at all of them then. Cal's a sweetheart, always ready to lend a hand or play a game. He and Tammy are just as inseparable, so it's almost like you have 2 best friends instead of just 1. That's actually really helpful. Cal teaches you how to take care of all the classroom plants. Your parents are both very proud of you. 10 friendship with Cal, 11 biology, plus 1 from absorbent brain perk, plus 10 animals. Ooh, Cal actually might not be a bad pick. Mars is a natural leader. Whenever you're all playing together, Mars is the one who comes up with all the ideas. She can be a little bossy, but that's part of her charm. She always organizes fun stuff for the kids after class. You're both founding members of the Secret Fun Times Club. -1 kudos at the end of round of this card was played even if you lose. Oh, okay, that's an interesting one. Plus 10 persuasion, plus 10 organizing. That would help me with the kind of build I would want. What about dice? 10 bravery, 10 perception. Plus 2 if in the first or last pane. Okay. Unlike his serious, studious twin sister Tangent, Dice is the kind of boy who sits in the back of the classroom and doodles on his holopalm. Your bond over cracking jokes about the weird diagrams in your textbooks. His quiet nature and his morbid curiosity make him somewhat of a loner, but at least he has a friend in you. You got a friend in me. What was your card perk? Oh, he's just a 4 with, like, no special traits, good or bad. Let's see what Tangent looks like. Okay, that's cute. Tangent is the kind of girl who sits right up front by the holoprojector and always has her hand in the air. She and her twin brother Dice drifted apart when she started genome treatment to make her body conform to her gender. Years later, Tang is the girl you always knew she was, but her relationship with Dice is worse than ever. Luckily, she has a friend in you. Plus 1 if this has the highest value, plus 10 reasoning, plus 11 engineering. Might actually pick her. And Shine Sweet Tammy. Tammy is the kindest person you know. She idolizes Antecedent and is always following her around, helping her with the babies or learning how to cook. She has the best snacks at class recess and always shares, especially with you and Cal. She and Cal are just as close, so it's kind of like having 2 best friends. Plus 1 to card to the right. Oh, that's cool. 10 empathy and 10 creativity. Honestly, I'd be happy with any of these picks. My 2 tops are probably Anemone or Tangent. Thing about the dating aspect, could probably go with one or of either of them, assuming they don't die, of course. We'll go with our first pick, I guess, Anemone. Future playthroughs, we can check out all the others. Yeah. Oh, no, that is right, Yeah, Anemone. You're 10 years old when the... plus 10 stress. You're 10 years old when the ship finally reaches the wormhole. Professor Hal says it's like a doorway to other star systems, with the planet Vertumna 4 on the other side. You run emergency drills for months to prepare. So we've got some empathy, we've got some reasoning, and we've got some toughness and combat. When the day finally comes, it starts with a rumble. Then things start to slide off the tables. You hurry to gather near the escape pods, just in case. The emergency area is crowded with families. It's going to be fine, Garrett, your dad soothes. We'll be through the wormhole and down on the planet before you know it, just like we've practiced. Your mom gives him a sharp, worried look. More plus 30 stress, fun. Red emergency lights switch on as a siren begins to sound somewhere distant in the ship. You try to breathe slowly like you've been taught, but you're very scared. You look out a porthole. The stars are gone. When you're frightened, you need organizing 5 or greater. Oh, so here's where some of those opening choices really start to matter already. Put on a tough face, get in touch with your emotions. Let's get in touch with our emotions. You bawl like a baby. It feels good. You aren't the only one. Nearby, your classmate Tammy has tears streaming down her cheeks. Mars is trying quietly to console her. She sighs as your crying makes Tammy wail even more loudly. Your dad puts his arm around you as you let it out. Stress cry. +2 friendship with Tammy, +2 friendship with Mars. A little bit of stress gained back. That's cool. You wait. The shaking builds. Then everything starts to get very weird. The hallway stretches. And you're stretching too. Your arms impossibly long. Your head feels like it's slowly filling up like a balloon and contracting down to the size of an atom at the same time. Is this the wormhole? You hear the distant, ominous squeal of metal giving way as the ship shudders and lurches in slow motion. The weirdest part is a sense of deja vu. You're sure this has happened to you before. Do you know, somehow, that everything is going to be okay? Yeah, it's really, like, made it clear just from looking at even just the settings that future playthroughs are all canon. There seems to be some sort of time loop situation going on. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. The shuddering reaches a crescendo. You hear an impossibly loud crunch and feel weightless for a few seconds before gravity slams you back against the wall headfirst. You black out. As you slip unconscious, you feel yourself twisted out of time. It's today, yesterday, and tomorrow, all at once. And more than just one tomorrow. Lots of them. Different tomorrows. You find yourself in a place that you know from your dreams. Tilled fields, dramatic ridges, and a stranger, but also not a stranger, grinning as she grabs your hand. Hurry up, she says. I'm not going to let you miss this. Distantly, you can feel the ship's shaking has stopped, and hear your parents' worried voices. Feeling safe, you slip further into the warm embrace of the stars. You drift. -20 stress. We are currently sitting at 50. Makes sense. I imagine that's probably exactly where they wanted us to sit. Gradually, your consciousness reforms. You wake up in the medbay. The medbed under you plays a soft tone and an automated voice speaks. 2 weeks have elapsed. The patient's cranial injury has completed healing. They may now be safely discharged. As the fog lifts from your head, you realize something seems different about this room. It's so bright? You try to focus on the window. Something is definitely different. Probably the sun. You've never been on a planet before. Instead of the familiar blackness of space, bright light from twin blue and yellow suns is streaming through the windows. So we've got a 2-star planet here, or 2-star system. You peer out and see fields, glass-walled domes, and walls ringed by giant mushroom-like trees. There are construction materials everywhere, and people walking around outside, on the ground. You better get out there and join them. Cautiously step outside to your new life or rush outside to start your new life. Let's be careful, we just woke up. Definitely a really nice soundtrack for this game. Oh! Tammy jumps up as you step out of the ship's quarters behind her. You're awake? Are you all better? You better go see your dad. She points southeast towards some geodesic domes. I really like this overworld. This is so heckin' cute. To walk, click on the ground. Click on characters to talk to them. The living quarters. The ship's quarters are where everyone sleeps, eats, and hangs out. The private bedrooms are small. You share one with your parents, so colonists spend most of their time in the big common area. There's a lounge and cafeteria, and a crèche where all the little kids and babies are raised communally. Excuse me. We've got our system. Yo, you could just, like, select which song you want. Oh, I love it. Okay, first we're gonna save. Garrett. Life 1. Sure. And then friends, we've got all of them, but Anemone is currently our best friend, with Tammy and Mars having a touch. Definitely want to get all of them if we can. Month 1 of Quiet, age 10. So from what I've read, the game goes month by month for 10 years. So we kind of have a timeline of how long it'll take. Memories. Giggling, first words, stress cry, wondering. Wondering. Discovering, absorbent brain. Crawling, first steps, and Anemone's loyalty. Oh, that's cool. So that's our basic deck. You'll keep adding to your deck as you age and can forget cards by spending time relaxing. That seems like a weird thing, but okay. You have a limited number of gear slots based on your organization and other skills. Click gear to equip, unequip it. Collectibles that you find while exploring may be given as gifts to friends or used during challenges for one-time bonuses. Okay, well, good to know that exploring is rewarded. Look for items on the ground while exploring. Yes, sir. Let's talk to Tammy. How you doing, girl? Tammy looks concerned. You slept for so long after you bumped your head, she says. I bet your parents were worried. Your dad is working over in geoponics, near those domes. They're called greenhouses. I would go with you, but, well, this is as far as I've been from the ship since we landed, Tammy stammers, blushing. It's scary outside. Oh, girl, we'll work on your courage. Don't worry about it. I will be your guide. It's a little leggy. Don't have the best systems. I'm going to drop the quality a little bit. Hopefully it's not too noticeable. I mean, I don't even notice any difference. Here, what if I go with this back to where it was, but we lower the texture quality? Nah, that doesn't seem to do it. Put that back. Put that to medium. Maybe we'll do both. Here, how's that work? Honestly, dropping the res seems to make it a little bit slower. This should be okay. Can I convince you to go head out? No. That is a house, or a building. Command. Command is a warren of long hallways with doors off to tiny, nondescript offices. Every time one you pass seems to be hurrying off to something important. The end of one hallway opens into the supply depot, which works as both requisitions office and general store. Beyond it are cavernous warehouses stacked high with supplies from Earth, now being gradually unpacked and distributed. Colony food shortfall 100%. Colony security rating evaluating. Upcoming event, we will be hosting our first annual Vertumna festival during the second week of Dust. Chief Administrator Seek. Notice. Take precautions outside the colony boundaries. Xenofauna have been sighted in the area. Survey teams are investigating. Chief Surveyor Tonin. Current Council and Administration. Governor Udicott Command. Chief Administrator Seek Command. Security Chief Rhett Garrison. Chief Engineer Instance Engineering. Chief Cultivator Flulu Geoponics. That's probably our dad. Chief Steward Antecedent? Antecedent? God, that's a word I only ever see written down. Quarters. Chief Surveyor Melatonin. Jesus Christ, some of these names. Melatonin. Where's Chief Officer Dopamine? Expeditions. Cool. So that is our command structure. Trying to keep an eye out for, like, hidden items. I'm assuming they'll glow with the outline like these things do, but we'll have to see. Can I rotate it all? I can't rotate it all. Quiet Season, age 10. Really pretty planet, damn. Engineering. Cute. A low throbbing noise comes from the engine room, which provides power to the colony. Other corridors lead off to the teaching labs and medbay. You know the route to your classroom well, but the rest of this wing is off limits to children. Congruence, the ship's onboard AI, beams down at you from a nearby holoscreen. Don't forget to study hard, Garrett. Cute AI. That looks... Well, that's not command. That must be our, like, security? The garrison, yeah. Small team led by Security Chief Rhett was enough to keep the peace on the stratospheric. To stay busy, they also ran the exercise gym and sports ball courts. Sports ball. Here on Vertumna, the garrison has expanded fast. They're building a huge wall around the colony and have an outdoor firing range and a big covered dojo. And best of all, a regulation-sized sports ball court. Neat. Wow, very tight walls at first. Makes sense, though. Can we leave? I don't think I can leave. I cannot leave. That makes sense. I am a 10-year-old child who has just woken up. Anyways, there's our daddy! No exploration items yet? Okay, that's fine. I'll leave you for a moment there. Geoponics. The greenhouses have different biomes inside, growing plants from Earth that might belong in a desert, jungle, or temperate forest. Some are so delicate you have to spray off any germs in an airlock before you can enter. The seasonal garden outside is dotted with blue nobodies, little flowers with what looks like wriggling creatures stuck inside each one. A sign explains it's a decoy meant to attract some kind of flying predator to come pollinate the flower. Makes sense. Now, normally if we were going by standard episode times, I would probably end the episode here. But because this is a very special release on the first day of launch, I'd like to push it just a little bit further. Garrett, your dad gives you a big warm hug. I'm so happy you're finally awake. Dr. Instance thought it'd be best to keep you asleep while your noggin healed. Your mother and I thought you might sleep away the whole year, mice and newsy little gooseberry. He checks your head and looks relieved. He was clearly very worried about you, but covers it with jokes and smiles. It's not embarrassing. Dad puns are always beloved. Love you, Dad. Welcome to Vertumna, he says, gesturing around you. You've never seen the stratospheric... Oh, That's not dialogue. You've never seen the stratospheric from the outside, except in pictures. The ship has been separated in two, and parts taken off to form other buildings and a big wall around the whole colony. The alien jungle creeps right up to the wall. Only the geodesic greenhouses pass outside it, dodging their way up the hill. It's beautiful. How'd you do this so fast? What's outside the walls? It is really beautiful. I'm glad you agree, he says. Your mother and I, we've been waiting a long time to see grass and trees again. Even if they are purple. Oh, before I forget, he pulls a package out from his satchel and hands it to you. You blink and stare at it blankly. Don't you know what day it is? I'm assuming our 10th birthday. You honestly don't. You remind him that you've been asleep in medbay. Happy birthday! He shouts, wrapping you in a warm hug. Your birthday already? You feel a dizzying sense of deja vu. You stare hard at the wrapped package. You know exactly what is in there. You remember it. No, you dreamed about this package. Some years ago on the ship. Inside will be a small medallion in the shape of a sun that your dad made by hand. Open package, tell him you know what's in it, don't open the package. One thing that the content warning did kind of mention to you, which I'm glad it did, because we will not be doing it on the first playthrough for sure, is if you talk about your dreams to people, they're gonna think you're crazy. Like, make you take medication, possibly even commit you crazy. So, no. We'll just open the package. Maybe in a future playthrough we can go crazy. How did you know this? It's exactly as you imagined, as you dreamed. A feeling of panic rises in your throat. Your hand shakes. But how? It's actually a really nice necklace that he carved himself. Sun medallion +1 to challenges. Your dad notices. He snaps his, are you okay, Garrett? He snaps his fingers. Dr. Instance shouldn't have let you out so early. Sometimes those sleeping meds take a while to wear off. They might make your head feel funny for a few hours. You nod. Maybe that's all it is. Someone shouts your dad's name. Listen, I'm so sorry, Garrett, but I have to get back to work. There was an accident when we landed, and... He stops himself. Don't worry, we're going to fix it, your mother and I. Professor Hal is expecting you in classes if you're feeling up to it, your dad says, pointing west to the engineering wing, and the rear end of the bisected ship. Then he points to the large doors you came out of earlier. Or you can relax in your quarters until you're feeling better. We'll talk later tonight, he says, then kisses the top of your head and ruffles your hair. Have a wonderful birthday, Garrett. I love you. Unlock Study Humanities and Engineering. What shows up here? Geranium? Oh, is his name Geranium? It is. Your dad, who works in geoponics, a kind man, always patient with children and animals. He is 41. Love you too, Dad. To enter buildings, click on the door or the flag beside it, or get close and press Enter or another action button. Then choose an activity for the month to gain skills and advance time. There are 13 months a year and 10 years to the end of the game. You only have time to focus on a few things. Interesting. Oh, cool. Dis has shown up. Dice? You see Dice sitting on the ground beside some bushes. Is he hiding from somebody? He seems to be watching the gate in the wall to the south, where grown-ups are coming and going. Kids aren't allowed past the walls, he says quietly, without looking up. They say there's nothing to be afraid of, but then why do we need walls? You stare at the gate and have a sudden rush of memory, so strong that you think you might faint. You imagine something crashing through the wall, something enormous and dark and wriggly. For years in space, you've had half-remembered nightmares of monsters, your ship being destroyed, of sifting through wreckage that used to be your home, trying to find something. Your dad always told you the dreams weren't real. Yeah, definitely some bad shit waiting for us on this planet. Breaking you from your daydream, Dice whispers, I think there are monsters out there. I believe you. No, you don't. You're being sarcastic, I can tell. Nobody believes me. They're huge and wriggly and dangerous. I don't want him to think we're teasing him, but, like, I do genuinely believe him. -2 friendship. Yeah, shit. Stop making fun of me, Dice pouts. You're as bad as Mars. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll befriend you later, I promise. Tammy moved. Good for her. Maybe she went to class. Oh, there is Anemone. Hiya, Garrett! Anemone seems really at home here. She's rolling a sports ball around with her foot, making patterns in the weird blue snow. This stuff is different from snow on Earth, she tells you, because it isn't cold. But it's still neat, and you can make stuff out of it. Your foggy head clears a little. Anemone is simple, physical, real. You always feel grounded near her. What are you making? Have you seen any monsters? Why aren't you in school? What are you making? Just snow spirals, she says. But earlier me and Cal made a big snow pal. You missed it while you were sleeping in medbay. She smiles her broad gap-toothed smile at you. Now that you're awake, we can play. Have you seen any monsters? Why aren't you in school? Nope, just some little bugs. The grown-ups would say if there were monsters, right? She shrugs and smiles reassuringly. Even if there were monsters, Chief Rhett would beat them all up, so don't worry. My mom says we're safer here than we were in space. You both look over at the wreckage of the Stratospheric, the spaceship where you were born. Anemone's mom, Antecedent, is probably right about that. Look what the wormhole did to your ship. Why aren't you in school? She smacks her forehead. School! I wondered where everybody was. I guess I'm gonna be late for humanities class. She doesn't look very worried to you. It's okay. Professor Hal is chill, she says. He won't mind. But we should probably go now. She grins and starts running towards engineering. Hey, race you! No fair, she's getting a head start. Nice. Except you're not moving at all. But yeah, we're definitely gonna go to school. Is there anyone else that we can talk to, though? No. Nope. Yeah. School time! A low throbbing noise. Oh, okay, this is the same dialogue. Study humanities. +2 creativity, +2 persuasion, 1 friendship with tangent, 15 stress. Study life sciences. +2 biology, 1 reasoning, 1 friendship with tangent, 15 stress. Creativity, persuasion, or biology and reasoning is the main difference. We're going to take the creativity and persuasion. Mostly the persuasion. Welcome, Garrett. Professor Hal greets you. I hope you've all warmed up and ready to study the glorious humanities. History, literature, language, media, and philosophy. And yes, if you're lucky, we'll have a little ancient Earth poetry, too. He seems excited about that last bit. Oh no. By the way, if anyone is interested in taking engineering classes, please register through Congruence's scheduling system when you have a chance. She'll be helping me teach them. Today's assignment is an easy one, Hal says with a yawn, because I was up late repairing Congruence's subterminal and I could use a nap. I'd like you to write an essay on what the Vertumna colony means to you. Freedom, equality, democracy, my friends are all here, I feel safe here, just doodle instead of writing. Sure. +5 loyalty, +1 persuasion. You list all the keywords you could think of to describe an ideal government. Did you say freedom yet? Although, you aren't totally sure if the colony's government is a real democracy. You know the council votes on things, but you don't get to vote. And who chooses the council members anyway? The governor? Who chooses the governor? The council? You may just be a kid, but you can tell you're missing something here. Get to work. Oh! Card battle, okay. When you work or go to class, you'll play a quick card challenge as the month passes. Move cards to fill the 5 panes and make the best hand you can. The order matters. If your total in the circle on the right reaches the goal value, you win. Depending on your cards, some challenges can't be won, but you still get a reward for doing your best. Goal 10. 5. Bonuses for flushes, same color together. I see. Bonus for pairs, same number together. I see, okay. Kind of like poker in a way, but more about how you arrange things. Bonus for straights, increasing from left to right. 0, 1, 2, 4, 5. So just increasing in general. The more cards in a flush, pair, or straight, the higher the bonus added to your total. Cards can also affect each other and can be rearranged to find the total best score. I think I see. Sun Medallion. So we could use this to add a +1 here. Oh, no, we just get it. It's a passive, okay. Oh, it's our gear. We have it equipped. I see. So we need to reach 6. So if we take 2 Wonderings, and then a First Words, First Steps, we already have enough. But if we add the last First Steps, then we have a total of 10. Okay, I see how this works. You worked well this month. +1 creativity. Your skills increase when you go to work, or go to school, with extra skills if you win the challenge, and a kudos bonus if you make the highest scoring hand with your cards, which I think we got. Working also increases stress, which prevents you from working if it reaches 100. To relieve stress, take a month off to relax in the quarters wing. Okay. So we got +1 kudos, +15 stress, 2 persuasion, and 3 creativity. And a friendship with Tangent. Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know growing food is an important job. And it's vital to get crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up on the stratospheric, when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them at night before going to bed. Though you can tell they're exhausted, they make an effort to spend time with you. Good parents. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches you as she works a pebble out of her gardening tiller, which also serves as a crutch. Ooh, is she injured? How have you been holding up? I learned some stuff in school. I'm gonna be positive. I'm glad to hear that. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles. And Professor Howe will give you kudos if you get good grades. Which we got. Woo! We have 1 monies. You can spend those at the depot once it's open. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom. I think there are lots of different ways to learn, and school is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby, or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you can tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree that this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. I promise I can read. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future, and if that means you find your own way, we'll accept that. Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas for how you can spend your time. And come by geoponics, your mom adds. We could use your help. Unlocked shoveling dirt in geoponics. Probably increases like toughness and stuff. Early quiet. Mid quiet. So this season is quiet. There was, I think, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons? Cool. Well, I did say that we would go a little bit longer, and we're already reaching close to an hour. So I think this is going to serve as the end of our day 1 experience with I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. More videos will be coming Monday to Friday, later in the evening. We're going to try and do daily uploads for this game for at least the first couple of weeks. Like I say, more details are in the description below. If you enjoy this content and want to see more like it, or the rest of the stuff we have on the channel, please drop a subscription. It really helps out. And I will see you all next time for some more Exocolonist.